right, how we doing? Glad to be here, glad to see all of you here. Appreciate the invitation. Mr. President, thanks a bunch, the faculty and staff and the board as well. And so glad to be here, to be back. Sorry my voice is not as strong. I'm allergic to smoke, and the tailgate last week screwed me up. But it's all good, it's all good. So it's good to be here and good to chat with you. First of all, I hate this hat, so I can't speak with this damn tassel. Hit me in my face, so it's going to smack me in my eye. Before we get started, normally when you go to a church, normally they have like an A and B selection to the choir. And I was walking in and I was like, okay, I was in the band, played bass, baritone, horn, cornet, all that stuff. And I appreciate symphonic band. But I came to a black school. So before I speak, I'm gonna need y'all to make this thing funky. So I need y'all to do something, because you can't keep talking about your band as all of that, and we got to hear symphonic band. So this ain't a homegoing, so I'm gonna need y'all to make this more like a homecoming. So I need y'all to do something, because I can't listen, I can't speak. I mean, I appreciate classical, but that pomp and circumstance just got on my last black nerve. So can I get a black band, a HBCU sound before I speak? Come on, Mr. Director, let's go. Hey, y'all, this is a graduation. Y'all can stand on y'all feet. Y'all can stand up. This side over here, y'all can stand up too. I don't know why the folks on stage sitting down. Hey, faculty, I don't know why y'all sitting down. Y'all, Alonda, get on up. There y'all go. All right, come on. That's what I'm saying. All right, get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Hey, I know there's some alphas in here. Oh, y'all know? That's called graduation. Now we can get going. That's what I'm saying. All right. All right. I feel better. My voice is better. Your president was like, I know he did not just... You gotta remember, Mr. President, my show is for black people. That's why we use hashtag bring the funk every day. All right, now we can talk. Anytime you stand in front of this many black folk, you got to tag your text. And if, okay, the person next to you has no idea what tag your text means, they clearly do not go to church. So for the graduates, any people who understands, do me a favor, look to your left and say, you belong in every room you are about to enter. Now turn to your right and say, brother or sister, you belong in every room you are about to enter. Look at the person behind you. You may not like them, but it's all good. Tell them you belong in every room you are about to enter. Tap the person in front of you and say, baby, you belong in every room you are about to enter. One of my 9 nieces is a junior at the University of North Texas, and when she was in kindergarten, first of all, Anna was a wonderful, free spirit. I mean, she was just smiling and joyous and all that good stuff. And one day, we noticed that she began to ask us, is this okay? Is this okay? And it was weird because that was never Anna. And then we found out exactly what happened when she was in kindergarten. They had a drawing exercise, and she drew something, and her kindergarten teacher told her it wasn't good. And from that point on, Anna began to question herself and question what she did. Now, we were mad as hell when that happened. And y'all have to understand, I helped raise my nieces. I raised 6 of my nieces. And I'm the person in my family they don't call for mediation. My wife was ordained minister, so if y'all need somebody to pray, to counsel, advise you, they call her. They call me. My nickname at TV1 is, you are the brother behind the glass case, break in case of emergency. And so we had to go to the elementary school, have a few words with that kindergarten teacher. And we had Anna removed from that class because it offended us that a teacher would somehow stop this amazing, wonderful mind and then begin to say that her artwork wasn't good enough when she's a kindergartner, when she should have been teaching them to think far beyond what they were actually doing. And I think about that whenever I see somebody black and they say they have imposter syndrome. I've heard a number of brothers and sisters who are CEOs say that they have imposter syndrome, where they feel as if they have not earned or they belong in certain places. And see, that's strange to me because I've never been one to believe that there are places that I don't belong. And see, part of that is because as people of African descent in this country, from the inception, we have been made to believe and think, and we passed it on to multiple generations, that we are second class. And we see this all the time. We literally say these things. When I was at TV1, I had some staffers and they would say, well, you know we are a black network. And I said to them, if anybody says that again, you will not have a job. Because the statement alone implied that what we were doing was not as good as someone else. In fact, a brother walked up to me one day and he said, Roland, when are you going to get you a show? Now, I was confused because I was waking up every damn morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and was going live from 7 to 9. And I said, brother, I have a show. He said, no. I know you have your TV1 show, but I mean a real show. And I stopped and I said, this could go one or two ways. I could take the time to explain to him the difference. I can straight cuss him out. I chose the Christian route. And I explained to the brother, I said, well, are you aware that when Brian Williams comes to Washington, D.C. to do the NBC Nightly News, he literally sits in the same chair that I sit in? And then the brother was confused. He looked at me like I was crazy, and I said, you may not realize that we contract out with NBC News Channel to do News One Now. I said, the same set, the same walls, the same cameras. We send the video down the same fiber optic lines in the same control room. I said, in fact, there's a glass table to the left, and there's 2 shelves, and there's a bristle brush on the bottom shelf. I said, Brian, don't use a bristle brush. I said, brother, what you don't understand is we literally are in the exact same location that NBC News does the show from DC, but we're simply on TV1. He thought because it was a black cable network, we were not a real show. I've encountered that that countless times. I've encountered that in my career where politicians will somehow ignore us and then not talk to us as black newspapers, but they will run to the daily newspaper and give them all the time necessary. When Lee Brown was the first black mayor of Houston, he went to South Africa and he did a pre-media discussion with other media. And then he came back and he brought 4 security guards with him, and the media jumped on it because it cost about almost $100,000. So then one day his chief of staff called me and they said, hey, we would love to bring the mayor by the newspaper and we would love to sit down and talk with you about the trip and how important it was. And I let him finish. And then when he got done, I said, first of all, Lee Brown, I straight cussed him out. I said, y'all went to South Africa, but you couldn't call the black newspaper before you went. But now white media is kicking your behind. So now you want to call me to now save your behind after the fact. I said, no, I'm going to kick your behind in the paper this week. I'm going to do it on TV on Sunday, and y'all going to learn not to disrespect black media ever again. I've always had that posture because I have refused in my career, in my life, to believe that what we have is second class. I have refused to allow others around me to have that mindset, because the reality is what we have always done has been first class in media. When I think about the North Star and Frederick Douglass and Ida B. Wells Barnett writing about lynchings, when I think about Robert Abbott founding the Chicago Defender, when I think about the Afro-American, I think about the Atlanta Daily World, I think about Charlotta Bass, I think about Claude Burnett's Associated Negro Press, I think about all of these institutions, Ebony and Jet, that actually told our story, that carried the weddings and the birthdays of black people when mainstream media would not even mention our names. I have refused to allow, even in the 21st century, for anybody to act as if we don't belong where we are. Because see, when we begin to pass that second class mindset down, when we begin to somehow allow somebody else to define us, to say we don't belong, then what then happens is it then repeats generation after generation after generation. And then it means that when we're in the workplace, we're not negotiating the way we should be. We're not asking for the promotion the way we should be. We're not demanding the same resources the way we should be. And I am simply unwilling and frankly unable to allow my blackness to have a black tax, and for anyone to somehow limit who we are and what we can do, and then say what we do is simply not good enough. Now understand, when you're like that comes with some pushback, because it's a whole lot of us who are intimidated by us. It's a whole lot of us who you would think would have our back, but in fact will actually say things to hold us down. There are graduates sitting here. If y'all are real honest, there are some folk cheering for you right now who were not cheering for you when you decided to come here. There are some teachers from elementary school and junior high school and high school who were like that teacher with Anna, who were not teaching and putting things into you to affirm you. They were actually saying, you know, you're not going to be able to make it. So why don't you just go to a junior college, or why don't you just go to a technical school? You really can't make it at that 4-year school. I had a teacher at Jack Yates, when he heard I was going to A&M, he said, Roland, do you really think you're ready? First of all, he never even taught me. So the first thing I was like, why in the hell is he talking to me? And he's telling me, he said, well, and literally, y'all, he said, why don't you go to Prairie View first, then go to Texas A&M? And I looked at him, I said, so what you're really telling me is the job that you and others did the last 4 years did not properly position me to go to any college in this country. You don't think I'm good enough to succeed at Texas A&M. Isn't that a reflection on your failure as a teacher? And he looked at me like I was crazy, and I walked the hell off. And 4 years later, when it was graduation time, I'm real petty, y'all, so let's just be real clear. Y'all know, if y'all follow me on social media, I will clap back on folk real quick. It don't matter. So if y'all want to tweet at me, tweet at your own peril. 4 years later, when it was graduation time, I went and dropped some invitations off to some teachers that I liked. But I stopped by his classroom and dropped that sucker off just to let him know, yeah, you the same one who said I wasn't ready to succeed there. And I'm sure every time he see me on TV, and when I was inducted into the Texas A&M Journalism Hall of Honor and the NABJ Hall of Fame and the South Professional Journalist Hall of Fame, he was thinking, I guess he was ready. See, folk like that sometimes who look like us don't want us walking into certain rooms, walking in our authority. And what they will do is they will say things to you that they think is helping you when in fact they're hindering your future. I refuse to listen to any of those haters. I refuse to entertain anything that they say. In fact, I've walked away, cussed some out, told some exactly how I felt, because I have seen too many people who look like us, who have been depressed and who have been despondent because somebody did not speak a positive word into their life. Somebody did not affirm them. Somebody did not speak power into their life. And do understand, when you walk out of here today, there's going to be a boss, there's going to be somebody at your church, there's going to be somebody you encounter who's going to say, you know what? You can't do that. They're going to look at the school you graduated from, and they're going to begin to question your abilities. But do understand, it is your skill set and your knowledge that's going to prevail regardless of where you graduated, when you graduated, and also what rank you graduated. Look, I appreciate the folk who are magna cum laude and all them other cum laudes. None of them cum laudes mean nothing to me. I was just trying to get to that day to walk across to get a sheet of paper, because I knew when I got out of there, I was about to show up and show out. Because do understand, all of that other stuff don't mean nothing when you walk out that door. It's now what you do. Now is the time to show folk who you really are. Now is the time to show them the kind of person that you are, and the knowledge and the common sense and the dedication and the work ethic that you have. Never ever walk into any room and believe you don't belong. Never walk in and say, I'm not quite sure I'm supposed to be here. I need y'all to learn to have some swagger. When you walk into a room, look, I said, that's why I like them skinny pants. Your cuff need to hit the door frame before you do. When you walk in, folks should know you in the room. Because there are some people who are present, but there are some folks who have presence. And I ain't never one to walk into a room and don't nobody know I've walked into the room. Now see, that's a level of confidence, and some of our folk will say, you cocky. Well, you can call me cocky all you want to, but I done seen way too many mediocre white men walk into rooms and act like they belong and walk out with multi-million-dollar contracts. You should never ever allow anybody, your mama or your daddy, your cousin, or your brother or your sister to limit what your future possibilities are going to be. And do understand, I don't care what has happened in your life before this point. I don't care how you grew up. I don't care what you went through to get to this day. All of that is now in the past. Today is the day when you begin to write a new chapter in your book. And when you begin to understand what is inside of you, when you begin to understand who came before you, then you realize that you have the ability to do whatever it is that you want. There's this wonderful scene in the movie Selma. Carmine Jogo is playing Coretta Scott King. And Lorraine Toussaint is playing Amelia Boynton. She was the one who invited Dr. King to come to Selma. And when I saw the movie, I sent a text to Ava DuVernay, and I said, Lord, I was giving a speech. I said, you got to send me that text. And it's a scene that I literally keep on my phone. And it's a scene that I post on social media all the time. And it's a 47-second clip that just says everything that needs to be said about who we are as a people and what we have endured to get to this point. This is what Toussaint, who plays Amelia, tells her. She says, I'll tell you what I know to be true. It helps me in times when I'm feeling unsure. I know we are descendants of mighty people who gave civilization to the world. People who survived the hulls of slave ships across the vast oceans. People who've innovated, created, and loved despite pressures and tortures unimaginable. They are in our bloodstream, pumping our hearts every second. They prepared you. You are already prepared. Jackson State graduates, do understand, you have been prepared for this day. You have been positioned by God to live in this moment in history to be able to create a new world that we've never seen before. Don't let anybody deny you your place in history to be able to redefine America in a new image. This is your moment to lead. This is your moment to create. This is your moment to stand up. This is your moment to be able to challenge and show the world exactly who you are and what we are made of. And if anybody ever looks at you and asks you the question, who are you? Who are you with? Let them know I am, my name, say your name. I am a graduate of Jackson State. I'm a child of God, and I will not allow you or you to redefine me and to limit who I am and what I am able to achieve. And if you repeat that every single day, and you come back here 20 and 30 years from now, and when they are honoring distinguished graduates, and they're talking about who represented Jackson State, then you will say, that will be me one day, because I never let somebody prevent me from living my best life and doing what God designed for me to do. Always remember, there is no room in this world where you did not belong. And then when they say, well, I'm gonna need you to leave, all you gotta say is, no, baby, I'm staying right here, because we built this country and we are about to take advantage of what we built, because that is how we were made.